Man, just come to DR, man. Come to DR. All you gotta say is hola. That's it. Just come, say hola. Hola! Ooh. Spin. Ooh, come.
The only thing I want to warn people about that's thinking about becoming a passport bro is don't do things like this if you're looking for love or dating or a woman to settle down with and start a family. This guy's clearly tricking. Obviously, he's paying for it. These aren't normal chicks that would just come up to you like that, show their bodies off. Just be warned. If you're going to travel and do quote sex tourism, by all means, that's your prerogative. But if you're actually looking for something real, you need to become an expat. You need to learn the language. You need to make an effort to live there and blend in, or else this is really what's awaiting you. The casual sex market there exists for foreigners because all the money they pay. This dude is tricking. But if you want something real, man, you have to put down some roots.
This in my chest. There are far more women struggling to find love in relationships than men. Yes, I agree, bad men exist, but these men are created, not born. And I'll tell you what's causing this: toxic feminism. What feminism does is simultaneously teach women to detest masculine traits in men, but cultivate them in themselves. So for instance, a man that cheats is trash, but a woman who cheats is a bad. Or a man that sexualizes women is misogynistic, but a woman should sell her nudes online and she's a bad. But the biggest problem with feminism is that it makes women reject their feminine traits. So they no longer want to be loyal or nurturing. As a result, we're breeding a generation of men who no longer aspire to provide, protect, and most importantly, respect women because they can access them and replace them. So yes, men are struggling to find love, but it might be because this generation of women is not what they want.
Not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
That the number of people your partner has slept with matters.
No.
Like if you meet a girl.
Not to me, no.
No?
Unless it's like astronomical, like 2,000.
Really?
Yeah, legit. Because that's just like, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Is this the only thing you've done in the past 25 years?
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like guys who are like, dude, she slept with like 20 people. Like what? Like, nah, that's used up pussy or whatever. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
No, it's honestly like, usually if somebody slept with more people, they're better.
Dude.
They're better in bed.
Welcome to the product of the gynocracy in the West. Do you see what all four of these guys look like? Especially this one in the top right, that's super hard on the don't judge her for her past, bro. This is exactly what he was told to do since birth. Yet every man around the world that's not in the West would tell you a woman with a body count of 20 is someone you don't even need to be thinking about dating, let alone marrying. But of course, in the chimpanzee society of the West, that's all we have here is to pick from 20, 40, 50, 100 plus body counts. And this guy just gets what he can get.
Beta!
And he goes, take advantage of me. I want you, here's my password to my PayPal. You go into the account, send yourself the money. He's really like this guy who wants to be taken advantage of. He wants me to like access and go into his Facebook and like log him out and then like make him give me $1,000 or like 2,000 because he's stuck and he has no other option. Like that turns him on. Then he was sending me his full-blown credit card.
I keep telling you guys, simping is at an epidemic level today. And it doesn't matter if you're a millionaire or not. There are trick daddies worth multi-millions and billions that are just tricking like this nonstop. It's a disease rampant in the West right now. This is what's contributing to the delusion of women today, is men with a ton of money and absolutely no character, no self-esteem when it comes to the other gender, and they want to be used and abused financially. It gets some guys off. A pay pig. That's what they're called. Imagine busting your ass, creating a company, anything, wealth in your life that takes decades, and you're going to F it all off becoming a pay pig so you can get a chick with some big boobies to essentially use you up, dude, because you have nothing going for you besides your business.
And then I was just like paying like literally all the things that you never want to pay, which I think I'm smart for doing. Parking tickets.
You find out your man is getting happy ending massages. Cheating or not cheating?
I don't think it's cheating. Okay, listen. I think it's not allowed, but I don't think it's cheating. If you're having a girl, give you a nice happy ending and you know her, there's a personal connection. When it's a girl who's literally just jacking you off and there's no communication, it's just like jack off and out, how can we really call it cheating? It's like, what's that thing when you put your dick in a hole and someone...
Glory hole.
A glory hole. It's like, how do you want to call that cheating if the guy never even knows who it is?
Bitch, are you dumb?
Pardon me?
Are you dumb?
I think she's dumb.
I think she's dumb.
Are you, like, medically speaking, are you, like...
Like, I'm not trying to be mean. Like, are you dumb?
I think she's dumb.
I think she's dumb.
I think she's dumb. I think, do you think
she's dumb.
Look, I think you're disgusting if you're putting your penis in a hole and waiting for it to be sucked, or like, you know what I mean? I think, like, I don't want to date that guy either, but I don't know if cheating is the word.
I'm gonna be honest. He gets a happy ending, and I'll tell you what else is ending our relationship. Okay?
Expectations are far too high for where you rank. You'd be very well off to get a guy who's earning $45,000 to $50,000 and go off and have a couple of kids. I mean, this is your life.
Oh my God.
I mean, and so hold on. And this is why I need to. I'm talking about a man who's a solid, decent man. I'm not talking about a bum. I'm talking about an average working man who works hard for his money. Okay. A solid, tax-paying, God-fearing, mother-loving, apple pie, hot dog, baseball mother citizen. And you're chuckling like I'm joking. I don't play when I'm talking about the men I respect and advocate for. And you ladies think just because you're making a little bit more money, you can laugh at these men. That's some bullshit. Especially when you're average. And you are below average. And get off my... No. Take a break because I'm going to calm down. Nope, absolutely not.
Okay, well, the name of my new book is Free Women, Free Men, because I'm demanding for an end to the war against men that has been going on in second wave feminism now for so many decades. I am really a product of first wave feminism because I became interested in the 1960s before Betty Friedan even wrote her book about the feminine mystique. I became very interested in Amelia Earhart and Katharine Hepburn and all these women of the 1920s and 30s who were animated by the great acquisition of the vote for women in both Britain and the United States. Those women of that generation included Dorothy Parker, Dorothy Thompson, and Mauro Lindbergh, so many of them, did not denigrate men in calling for women's rights. They demanded simply equal opportunity for women to achieve at the same level as what men had done in each career. Right. They admired what men had done. I admired what men have done. Okay, if people cannot look at history and see how men created civilization from, as I say in the book, from the Mesopotamian irrigation projects and the pyramids, down through the great, art form and so on. What are we doing? The real toxins, okay, are in feminist theory that poisons young women's minds against men. Many problems that women endure are not due to men; it's due to systemic problems. For most of human history, we were in the agrarian era when there was a natural division of labor and there was a world of women and a world of men. Right. So we are still trying to sort out what's happened since the Industrial Revolution made it possible for women now to support themselves through jobs, to get jobs outside of the home, no longer to be dependent, wonderfully, on father, husband, brother, okay, for sustenance. Right. But the end result in the 20th century is this movement toward, from the manufacturing base, okay, to service sector jobs, now a job requiring much higher levels of education, therefore very long periods in the classroom of college and then postgraduate education. So what we've ended up with is a kind of system that favors women. Women like to work, on the whole. Most women, the overwhelming majority of women, like to work in a safe, clean, quiet, secure environment. Okay, that's why they're very good at office work. Right? With the decline of a manufacturing base, boys have less opportunity to define themselves as men. Okay, to master a craft the way in the agrarian period their fathers had. They learned to be a carpenter. They learned to work with metals as their fathers had. Right? So there has been a real undermining of the natural basis of male identity in the acquisition of a skill. Right now, the way that the public school system is run, at least in the United States, I can't speak for Britain, okay, but it's an all-female environment. The men who are present in it have already been doctored and neutered, okay. All right, the boys are experiencing public schools as a prison, okay. Everything that is most boy-like, all the natural vitality and energy of boys, all right, is defined as disruptive and disorderly, okay. They are so constrained, okay. It's awful, it's suffocating, and that's why they have escaped into the world of video games. Now, you mentioned the issue about Hollywood. So true, okay? At the beginning of Hollywood, in the 1920s and 1930s, the actors were drawn in, okay, were discovered because they looked photogenic, who are actually natural men who had worked with their hands. So, for example, Clark Gable had worked in the oil fields, okay? You had Robert Mitchum, who was just like, toting lumber, and they said, hey, you could possibly be in front of the camera. Or Gary Cooper, hey, how about you get in front of the camera, et cetera, et cetera. So these were men who understood men, because they had a natural density of personality, everything about them. Now, okay, what we have, okay, is our actors, okay, they want to be actors since they're 3 and 4. They're going to be an actor, okay. They go take dance lessons and voice lessons and so on and so forth. They learn how to be men by looking at images on the screen. So what we've got, most of our contemporary actors, all right, are simply 3rd generation removed from Marlon Brando, okay. All right, they're still doing Marlon Brando. It's all false. It's all phony. They have the density of parakeets, okay. The actors today. So I absolutely agree with you, okay, is that where can young men look, okay, for role models today? There's no place to look.
Well said, well spoken, BG.